All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA Podcast. My name is Keith, here once again with my buddies Chuck and John.
Hey now.
In the flesh. Chuck is wearing a ironic trucker hat.
No,
This is-
it's not ironic.
There's no irony there.
No, me
I
and
feel
John
like
had a
Support
very-
your local pole dancer.
It does say support your local pole dancer. I do feel at my age, all trucker hats have a sense.
Oh, yeah.
They're ironic
Right.
because we're not a trucker.
Don't you think?
When I started wearing trucker hats 10 years ago, it was ironic, and now people are still wearing them. I feel like you don't think it's not like a.
I see. I got street cred. I got trucker.
You got the street cred.
Yeah.
do.
I used to work for a company and did diagnostics on long haul trucks.
So there you
So
go.
for 2 years, I basically lived in trucks.
But I mean, your hat is not designed to keep you
earned this.
cool while you're working outside. It's not grease stained.
Oh,
There's
that's what
no-
that's for.
Oh,
the
there's
netting.
There's grease. You just can't
I
see
get
it
it.
because it's clear.
During kind of black light.
Yeah,
It's in the black
you don't
light.
wanna-
John, you're dressed more like a business e-cash. I don't know what to call your outfit. It's
Eddie
not your normal-
Bauer.
Is it Eddie Bauer? You're wearing a jacket that I think could pass for a futuristic Blade Runner.
That's right. You damn right.
It's nice.
I have the Voight Kampf test in the pocket of that. Tell me about your mother. Tell me about a tortoise laying on its back in the desert.
I watched Blade Runner a week ago.
It's so good.
Hadn't seen it in 20 years. I watched the final cut.
I get real confused
There,
about the cuts.
so then I go to the Wikipedia
yeah.
to see which cuts there are. There's 6 or 7 cuts.
And I just don't know which one is which at this point.
Because I don't even know which one I had seen the last time I saw
Exactly.
Blade Runner, which was 20 years ago. But
Yeah.
I've never seen Blade Runner.
it holds up
Color me
really
unsurprised.
well. It's
Yeah.
it's visually stimulating.
Yeah,
the
Harrison
whole
Ford,
time.
right?
One of the most influential movies ever made.
Bunch
Is
of-
Ryan
bunch of-
Gosling in the first one?
No, he was not born yet.
Is Mickey Mouse Club
Look it
era
up.
Ryan Gosling?
Actually, I don't know. Was Gosling alive in 1984?
I don't think he's younger than us, right? So no.
I think so.
I
Cares?
believe Blade Runner is 82.
I just wanted to know if he was in it because he's my favorite actor of all time.
Really?
No.
Is it Notebook? What put him over the top?
Drive.
Drive is pretty cool.
He is kind of one of the best actors of my generation.
He just he has a very he's done something very ingenious. He decided that in some movies he'll do nothing at all.
Simple.
It's good work if you can
Sometimes
get
doing
Right.
nothing is the hardest thing to do.
it. Speaking of good work, I didn't have to do anything in my job all week, but at the middle school.
You've been working, Keith. We're gonna get to it.
But I still get to go and clock in.
Oh, that's cool.
So I just go clock in.
Can you not clock in digitally?
Well, so I that feels like some ethical thing.
No, not at all.
Like why am I not? I mean I cannot.
Oh, okay.
I do not have any way to clock in from my house, but I'm allowed to go clock in, and then just sit there
Yeah.
and just like today.
And you have children, so that sounds
today.
great.
I tweeted and podcast prepped sorta on the clock. So it's not like
Good move.
pretty good job, but it does feel weird. Why can't I do this at home? Why can't I clock in and go? Why do I have to be there?
Because they own you. Your body is your currency.
You've been working hard.
I will
for,
say
for Filipino CNN.
Shout out. This I wanted to ask you guys what your best and easiest jobs you ever had were, because this reminded me of I think maybe my favorite job ever. Not the most fulfilling, but back in the day, you guys know every now and then. You guys know John and Chuck know I've never really worked,
Right.
but I did used to do like random temp jobs when I needed money. So it's like, I'm out of money. I got to go do a temp job now, and so I would do them, for a couple weeks, and then I would be like, I can't take this, and I would tell them like, yeah, I'm not gonna work anymore, because again, like the temp agencies,
I love it. You're a mercenary.
well, the temp agencies were always
You owe
so
them
excited
nothing.
when you had someone who could like alphabetize without error.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they were like, oh,
brush their teeth.
this guy will show up and make no
Data
errors on
entry
the thing.
specialist.
He is not
So-
on crack cocaine. What?
So I would do the jobs, and they're like, "Hey, this is a 1 week job." And then after 2.5 days, I'm like, "I finished all the files. Can I quit?" They're like, "Oh yeah." Anyway, so I finally told them like, "Hey, I can't do this. I don't like working enough. Like I hate it." And so
I hate you.
And so they said, "Hey, we got a job for you. How about this?" So I guess they've been saving this job.
Oh.
They're like, hey, how about this? And this is like pre-internet, pretty much. I mean, the internet existed, but it wasn't everywhere. It wasn't Wi-Fi everywhere.
Right.
But they were like, hey, here, would you go into model homes in like cookie cutter suburban neighborhoods they were building.
Subdivisions.
They always had a model home where a real estate agent would work and sell the homes out of this model home, and they would take a day off during the week, and they needed someone to sit at the model homes and talk to anyone who came by.
Yeah,
This is like
That sounds awful.
so. No, here's the thing.
Well, I thought
No one came,
Wasn't
maybe?
there?
so day one.
the members of the Bluth family had to be staying in the attic.
It was much like the Sudden Valley of Arrested Development, and I guess this was the early aughts, maybe 2005, 4. There were no maybe even cell phones weren't even that prevalent being used by everyone. Like they were around, but I would go
Nextel.
So day one, I went to the model home and sat there for 8 hours, and I brought books. I brought like notebooks so I could be productive,
Wow.
creative, and so
You're going to write the next American novel?
One person came by, and they were like, "Hey, is this the cloverleaf or the magnolia?" As far as the model of home, they all had like tree.
Right.
So I'm like, "Oh, this home is the magnolia
rhododendron.
with the finished garage into office space." And they were like, "Well, can I?" And then I would cut them off. Like, no, I'm not.
No.
I don't. I'm just a temp.
Just don't take any of this
Can I
fake furniture.
can I take your number? So one person came by on day one. Day two, I'm like, you know what? No one came by. I'm going to bring my entire PC, like tower, monitor, and I'm going to play NBA Live
That's
on this
amazing.
monitor.
You played NBA Live on a PC? That's
No,
great.
so like I show up and like I'm clocking in, like I'm here at 9 a.m. and I start setting up my computer. That takes 30 minutes. It took 30 minutes, back in the day.
That's about $6.50.
So I played, yeah, exactly. So I would play I played NBA Live the whole day. No one would come by. Eventually, I started doing the ethically wrong thing because I would go get lunch, but I don't have to. Why am I clocking out? No one comes by.
Right. Did you get busted?
No. So one was over near the Opry Mills Mall. I went to Opry Mills for like an hour and a half.
That's my world.
Lunches started getting longer, John.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, what are they going to do?
Call it mission creep.
Yeah. So, is that Mission Creep? Is that the...
Yeah, that's the technical
So
term.
anyway, I think my favorite job ever was just getting paid whatever, $13 an hour, just to say I was at a model home.
Oh, wow.
People will come by, ask a question. Oh, I don't know anything. I'm just a temp.
I served you could have been easily replaced by a placard.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
couldn't a voicemail just done the job?
Or they
Like,
could have gotten Chuck to stand outside and spin said placard.
Right. Oh, you could have been a
that's-
sign spinner.
That's
an
sounds like a terrible job
That's
as
an
opposed to the
athletic
job.
event.
I want to know Chuck's favorite job.
My favorite
So
job?
what's your favorite / easiest job?
Oh, weed
Not
dealer.
most fulfilling.
Most fulfilling job? I don't know. I used to
that one was
make
not fulfilling, but
I used to make
I want to know Keith's most fulfilling job.
my least fulfilling was Schlotsky's Deli in my
You
senior
brought
year
that
of
one
high
up a lot.
school.
I feel like you have
do
some
Schlotsky's
Schlotsky's
still
PTSD.
exist?
They do, but
Do we have one in Middle Tennessee?
there's one at the
What is
airport
that?
in Denver.
What is that bread made out of? Treacle?
But
Sponge?
I don't know, but they bake it in on site. It's amazing. But my best job, I don't know, probably that truck job. It was cool. I got to hang out with truckers, and it was cool to
Were
look.
there any lot lizards?
No, it was all at like dealerships, like Kenworth dealerships.
My mental image is vivid now.
Right. So but it was so cool to go into these trucks and see how these human beings lived and how it was just an expression of their, degeneracy or OCD. It was it was like getting to tour
Do not
America's
change
home.
the knobs on my CB radio.
That's like most of
Chuck.
Yeah.
John-
It was a great job.
What's your easiest job that you sort of enjoyed?
I don't think I've ever enjoyed any jobs.
John hates work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like more than we do.
Yeah.
You and I have a disdain. John has actively spent his entire life
I
putting
have some weird nostalgia for jobs that I now pretend that I enjoyed.
Right.
But
No,
at the time,
I have that.
loathed.
Oh, I hated being in the military. I hated
But now,
to
but now you like,
drive-
remembered fondly.
No,
I used
oh,
to, have you ever
miss
been
getting
to a
drunk.
driving range?
Oh.
Golf ball driving range?
No,
Have you ever? No.
I've never swung a
Have
golf
you?
club.
Yeah.
Chuck, have you ever whacked the ball at the guy driving the ball picker up?
Oh, you were the ball.
Well, you, sir, have whacked a ball at me.
Sorry.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, those were the good old days. It was the hot summer. I had like sort of abs then. Things would happen to my body done by other people at that time.
You tan very
Let's go.
easily.
Yeah,
so
it was
you have nice,
golden
nice and bronzed. Yeah.
And then I remember I'm like, oh no, I had to get up really early. Ooh. That sound when the ball would surprise me was horrifying. You are doing what you think you're doing was horrifying.
Just
Terrible.
I got fired from that job. That made me feel less than worthless.
I got fired from Schlotzsky's. I showed up way too high one day.
Yeah. That is
a whole history.
That is a cycle repeating.
I joined the military basically as a rehabilitation technique. I was skating
How
hard.
did that work? How did that go, Chuck?
It just taught me how to be a functioning addict.
user.
Yeah.
You had 10 good years.
I have the whole nostalgia for jobs that I did not enjoy, and I have that now as I parent with children. I'm like, you know what? I think I would rather work. I think I would rather go do the Tim job. My wife, who commonly says like, what was your other plan before you met me? Like,
World's ugliest trophy husband.
Well, yeah. What was your? It's like I don't know, man. Like I'm the Seth Rogen character in some rom-com.
It's out right now.
At the age of 34, I guess I'll get some kind of office job.
Link into a coding career.
Oh, I was just offered a job, Keith. You guys ready to get real depressed? Writer's assistant.
Right.
Guess how old the writer is?
21 years
18?
old.
24.
24.
Couldn't do it. My pride wouldn't let me do it.
I would love to be. I would love to be a president of basketball operations assistant to the 29 or 30-year-old Zach Kleiman,
Right.
of the Memphis Grizzlies. Anyway, breakfast. I guess we should get to it. Did you guys have breakfast?
With authority.
What'd you have, John?
Keto?
Chuck, get ready.
What'd you do?
It's keto.
F.
Is that how I do it? AF.
AF. Okay.
You were
Keto
pronouncing AF as AF.
Yeah. Oh, you don't say it out. Okay.
No, you gotta
my bad.
you have to
My
say
bad.
Lotrimin
My bad.
AF.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Waffle House. Are you with me?
Oh, nice.
Man.
Shout out to our Patreon supporter, Matt Sullivan, who business expensed a $30 Waffle House fee.
What?
It was
$30 a Waffle House.
It was glorious.
did he
So
own
many
a
plates.
waitress?
I had a plate of
So many
ham the
plates.
size of Chuck's head, and it was like 62 cents for that extra ham.
I don't get how you would ever spend 30.
What did he get there?
He got. I don't remember. It was like
He must have gotten his hash browns scattered, smothered, covered, chopped, peckered, pickled, peppered, poopled,
He
tappled,
did.
tippled.
He did, and they didn't
It
bring
just
him.
kept going.
They didn't
man.
bring him that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because it only exists. Scattered, anything other than
scattered,
scattered, smothered, covered, chopped, chunk doesn't
We got a
exist.
steak with a side of steak and like a ribeye with a
That's how you do
T-bone or something. I don't know.
Right.
Chuck, what was your breakfast?
I had an ice cream sandwich because I'm an adult.
I love
Hell
ice cream
yeah.
sandwiches.
I haven't had one of those in 2,000 years.
That's terrible.
They're
need
so
it.
cheap.
They're so amazing.
So
They
that's
just-
why my parents gave it to me.
You could buy like 6 for $1.50.
Yeah.
You go to Kroger.
I got my
It's
son.
like one can of beer, or 6 ice cream sandwiches.
One
true.
can of beer.
It's amazing how cheap desserts are after you've been drinking for a while.
What kind of loser buys one can of beer?
I got my son this weekend, so I have that. I have to stock my fridge, so I got the Sammys,
There you
and I
go.
got Otter
Oh.
Pops.
Can I go with you, Chuck? Not you, Keith. When you go shopping for your son's foods?
What's great
I bet
is
that's
I
amazing.
don't have to be a real caretaker of his health.
What percentage of
'Cause
his foods do you end up eating?
I get him on the weekend, so like it's party time when I have them. So it's like pizza rolls and Dino Nuggets and like Go-Gurt is a fruit in my house.
Go-Gurt?
So that
Go-Gurt is his yogurt in a pouch.
yogurt on the
Got
go,
it.
John.
Yogurt on the go.
I was
got it?
breaking it down.
Yeah, he got it.
I was like 16 seconds behind you. I was breaking it down.
I like to know what percentage.
cool,
how many
Broker.
of the ice cream sandwiches will your son eat? How many will you eat?
I'll eat the majority, 80.
Right,
to
because it's like you
90%.
have to earn the ice cream sandwiches. The boy, I'm like,
yeah.
well, these aren't going to last. I'm just going to eat 5 of them. Give
Yeah.
him 1, and that his month is made.
Every single sweet I buy to have in the house for my kid ends up being mostly mine. I will eat
You
most
guys
of it.
probably started out thinking you're going to feed your kids healthy, right?
I'm
How
still
long
doing
did
it.
it last?
Still doing it pretty well, actually.
I was big on like making sure he wasn't getting any like weird pesticides or anything in fruits
Right.
at the beginning.
Pesticide.
But
Okay.
what I found out is kids are pretty resilient, and you can just feed them anything and they'll be fine.
Right. So
I mean,
how
long term, you don't want
what is-
that. If I had him
how
every day,
long
it'd be
did it
different.
break before you failed as a parent? Is what
Right
I'm asking.
around the divorce.
Okay, got it. That made
I got to say, we're still going strong.
happy meal.
Yeah,
mainly
shout out.
You'll get divorced.
hardly ever fast food. Hardly ever.
Oh, do you?
We'll check back with Keith
Nah.
post divorce.
Man, I have to like.
we are at
I have to have
McDonald's for the 4th time today. This one has a playground, thank God, and Wi-Fi.
Also,
I'm interviewing
tower.
Zach Schlow from the McDonald's with that.
well, also the Chick-fil-A
My son is
that's
12.
9/10 of a mile from my house opens in 8 days.
Ooh, Chick-fil-A is. Do they have an indoor playground?
They do.
Oh my God,
It's a
Keith,
wrap.
your life is
It's a wrap.
This
Look,
is huge.
I know those people there aren't probably in my worldview as far as like corporate culture is concerned, but as far as I'm concerned, people who make good fried chicken usually have awful beliefs.
You could probably get a job as like the old man greeter, Keith.
Oh no, I'm gonna do children's piano Tuesday night, whatever.
Yeah.
I've definitely walked in on those. We're like, oh, there's a performer here.
Ooh.
He's singing rappy.
We started,
Yeah.
we started talking about Keith's best job, Filipino CNN correspondent.
That's it.
Oh yeah, back on the Filipino.
That's it.
CNN
The
beat.
look of horror on your face when the first question was about a series that I know you have watched. No, I was so afraid for you, and you looked right into the camera and gulped.
Yeah.
It's
There was like the last time I did it, it was like, what do you want to talk about? And I threw out like 5 things, and they was like, yeah, we'll pick some of those. That's good.
Yeah.
This time it was like, hey,
You
we're
come
gonna
on.
we're gonna talk. It was like short notice. It was like the night before.
Yeah.
It was whatever. It was Thursday morning, or it was Tuesday morning in the Philippines.
Yeah.
My Monday night. They're like, hey, you want to come on in the morning? Which was like, I'm gonna go to bed and wake up. And it was like, yeah, we'll talk about the Bucks, Celtics, and Warriors, Rockets. And I was like, yeah, great. And I was like,
no,
I'm
you
not.
sounded-
And it was like the games
for
were going.
10 minutes.
Yeah, the games were going on.
what
I'm
was
like, I don't watch these.
Insane was
I can
the-
make a horror movie score like Halloween, like do, and then just cut Keith's reactions to certain parts. And there's parts where Keith, I think he's looking at the clock. He's just like, "Oh my God!"
Well, so I almost messed up because they were like, how can the Warriors stop James Harden? And I said, like, well, Charles, if I knew how to stop James Harden, and I almost said I wouldn't be here talking to you, but I like twisted it halfway, but like, well, if I knew how, hopefully I would turn that into a job.
You fell into so many like you were like,
Yeah.
Look, I'm not an NBA athlete.
Well, he said-
I'm really not.
He also asked, like, how hard is it for a player to return after not playing in the whole playoffs? Like, well, Charles, I'm not an NBA athlete.
I don't know if you can tell by the tie I'm wearing.
I did wear a tie because Abby thought it was more hilarious if I wore a tie. She's like, you have to wear a tie.
I think she was
Wear a
right. That's a solid production note.
Anyway, let's.
Will Oldham here.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to the Vanilla in Manila over
That's
here.
right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
All right, well, let's get to our.
I was hoping the last question would be Keith. How many minutes of the Sixers series have you even watched? You fraud.
Oh, I've been watching my boy go. No, they've been working out. For me, on night, off night, on night, off night. Raptors Nuggets have been on the same night.
Yeah.
It's all cute.
Yeah.
You can just
on
watch one night.
On night, off night. Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Those are the series I'm super dialed into. Like I had to miss last night and I didn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah. No,
It was pretty. Although you missed a big time. That Rockets
Oh, yeah.
Rockets Warriors game 5 I did watch, and it was riveting.
It
TV.
was.
We'll get to
I
that
catch
in
up because
just a second.
I found this podcast where Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs and Steve Buscemi from Reservoir Dogs brazenly stroke each other for sometimes on camera. I found this and it's like every day, so it feels like I was
That's
there.
good. Well, those are the. Oh, my breakfast. I had an omelet. Let's move on. After our breakfast,
on its skin, Danny?
we get to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on any previous episode. It is often, frequently, the first time we talk about the NBA is where we're 20 minutes into the show.
Wow.
Anyway,
See you
does
later,
anyone-
Eads.
Does anyone have anything they need to apologize for?
Look, I thought the Celtics. If you bet aggressively with the Celtics at any point during this second round, I apologize. I didn't. I didn't know that was gonna.
Did you kept thinking it was going to turn?
Yeah.
You kept thinking it was going to turn.
Like especially, I
We're
was
gonna turn.
kind of in the Paul
put up a
Pierce.
fight. It's gonna
I was
turn.
kind of in the Paul Pierce camp. I was like, oh, they're
no.
in trouble.
Oh.
They're in trouble. Woo-hoo. They're in trouble. I didn't know that they were just kind of going to throw in the towel.
Oh, they laid down and died.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They showed them the belly.
The game 5 was, I don't want any of this.
I thought there were, and I should have seen the warning signs all season, I guess, but I just thought there was a lot more fortitude there.
Oh, that was the they are what we thought they were.
Yeah.
Well,
The Dennis Green.
Yeah, that was the
Like,
Denny Green.
you showed us for
We let him off the hook.
you showed us for 8 months that your talent doesn't fit together, doesn't like playing together, and you struggle at times. Yeah, that was true.
Yeah.
We saw Marcus Morris getting into pushing matches on the sideline with Jayla Brown.
And
There was all sorts of fun little things all year. Kyrie shooting a shout out to LeBron halfway through the season. It's been a fantastically ridiculous Celtics.
What was weird was Marcus Morris, who all year shot out of his brain.
Yeah.
We were like, that's going to regress. No, in the playoffs, he was still awesome.
Yeah.
He still hit all the shots in the playoffs.
It was everyone else
Everyone
that couldn't
else.
hit their shots.
Yeah.
And boy, when you look at like the Kyrie, Tatum, Brown numbers, like it's nuts.
Yeah, I think Budenholzer's plan of letting a Morris twin beat you was solid.
leave the more. Yeah, Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Gordon Hayward, and Marcus Smart combined to shoot 20% from 3 and 34%.
I saw a stat. I
So-
think in Marcus Smart's 15 minutes, I think Keith might have said this on Filipino CNN. I think in Marcus Smart's 15 minutes, the Bucks scored 7,000 points.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
negative.
Well, and then Brogdon like finally played in Game 5, and I don't think the Celtics didn't score. Like the first 4 minutes he was on the court.
him and George Hill. It's
And
like-
you saw Al Horford storming onto the court to get that technical. They wanted a travel call.
wanted it.
It wasn't a travel.
I feel
It was weird looking. It wasn't a travel.
I feel really bad for Horford. He's the one I think got caught in all this. He's kind of like, I don't know, like Chris Webber to me in that he's kind of stuck in a weird, crappy team.
Talking about inside the NBA? What are you talking about?
Oh, when he was with the Kings, when
A weird, crappy team with Vladi Dottie
with a really good
and
good
Mike
player.
Bibby and Peja
He was just
and Doug Christie. Doug Christie.
Slow down.
Uppercut you right now like Doug Christie did.
no. I'm
Chris
saying
Webber, how is he? This is an aside.
This
It
is-
goes on.
What have
This
you
is-
done?
How is Chris Webber stuck on those great Kings team? He was the weak link on those awesome Kings
Chuck
teams.
wants out of this. Chuck just did the 1,000-yard stare.
I'm sorry. Did we misinterpret
you
what
guys
you were
both
saying?
just jumped out. Now I'm
did.
gonna curse a lot and make Keith do a bunch of beeps because you guys are assholes. So how about this? Would you let me make my point before you start yelling Doug Christie's name at me?
All
You
right.
slob. So he wasn't stuck on those teams. It was a poor choice of words because I saw John's eyes light up as soon as I said Chris Webber, and he
Yeah,
got all
keep
red in the face.
Chum in the water.
Keep going.
He's on a team that he's not going to win anything because there's better
Oh.
teams, and he's like stuck, and he's a good player, and I root for him, and that's it. It's very fundamentally like not.
Just you're
deep.
sad. You're sad that Horford.
I root for Horford. I used
Yeah,
to root
he's a
for
nice
Chris
guy.
Webber. I know that was a bad take in early 2000s, but I like Chris Webber.
No, I like Chris Webber. Handsome man.
I hate you both.
Al Horford. Al Horford.
This is my last podcast.
Chris Webber.
My apology.
One last dance.
That's right. One last timeout.
One last dance.
He got no timeouts left.
My apology is for something that, I could apologize for picking every series incorrectly,
No, never.
but I'm going to apologize for something that happened in private,
Uh-oh.
just between me and my God, my own personal shame.
Yeah.
I was looking at the box score stats.
Your God, Daryl Morey.
I saw Brooke Lopez in the
Chief
game
Brody.
and I was like, wow, it didn't matter. They won by a lot over the Celtics. But I'm like, whoa, Brooke Lopez, like, boy, started, did not score a point, took 7 3-pointers. That's probably never happened before in the playoffs.
Here we go.
So I look it up, and I was ashamed. It obviously has happened before.
Right.
Staring back in my face was over 12 Ariza. I'm like, how in the world,
yeah.
of all the things to slip my
Recency.
mind? And I was just deep shame.
That's okay.
It felt horrible, and I wanted to try to be penitent, come clean.
It's okay.
Let that out.
Well,
So,
good.
Penitent man shall
Sometimes-
pass.
I'm sorry.
I know sometimes your
The penitent man shall pass unless it's Kyrie Irving, and then he's going to shoot that long term.
then he should have took 30.
Yeah, that's right.
My
Sorry.
apology this week was last week during Game of Scones, I took Paul Pierce's corpse and threw it in a trash can and then lit
Yeah.
it on fire.
that was one of my favorite moments.
It's probably
because again to recap, Chuck nailed the question that was who I think it was something along the lines of which players have the most games where they shot 15 times and hit less than 30% of your shots. And he'd already gotten the top score of Russell Westbrook and needed the other top score. And in consecutive turns, he did back-to-back Grand Slams. Said Paul Pierce, but then walked away from the table. He knocked his chair over, walked away from the table, did a victory lap in the basement. That was very exciting. You could not see it through your podcast headphones.
It was a great
but for
moment.
me, it was a moment of joy. Sorry, go ahead.
It was a great moment. I really feel like I started a Paul Pierce beatdown bandwagon.
He hasn't been knifed this badly in some time.
Oh no,
he's they're booing
editorial
him.
Note.
Editorial note. They're booing him in Milwaukee. They're saying Paul Pierce sucks.
He does suck.
He hasn't played in the NBA.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
To have a Paul Pierce sucks chant break out
in 2 different places.
That's awesome.
Dwayne Wade's last game in Brooklyn. Brooklyn chants it. Shout out
Does
Brooklyn
he enjoy
fans.
being the villain, or is this going to end badly?
I think he was like, I've been good at basketball my whole life. I can start talking about basketball and I'll be good at it. And then he sucked.
He's essentially like the Sean Salisbury without the sexual assault rumors.
I don't even know that reference.
Sean Salisbury?
Oh.
I'm throwing a lot of shade at Paul Pierce. He was like a middling Minnesota Vikings quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
remember him. Okay.
He sent some dick pics.
But but the Paul Pierce tomfoolery, it continued all through the week, and I feel like I started a brush fire.
I get you, because he's one of my least favorite players ever. I kind of feel bad for him.
At this point, I kind of am like, he's a meme because he's a clown. He buried the Bucks after a game. So did John. And he's a take machine, and his takes just aren't well calibrated yet.
Well, they're not well calibrated, and also he has that added baggage of lots of people did not like him, and he keeps sticking his neck out for like the weirdest things.
Right.
That's why I'm
Where he's
curious,
like,
does he like
where he's
enjoy
like,
this
oh,
heel
yeah,
role?
I'm a much like he could have said. I think at one point he tried to say that he was possibly better than Dwayne Wade. That came up the big,
he said it.
or the better career. Well, I think what he meant to say, and maybe I'm giving him way too much benefit of the doubt. I think he was kind of saying if he had been in Dwayne Wade's circumstances,
right,
he might be remembered in the same way.
Right, and
that's at least an argument I can make if I
historical
had to.
framing argument.
Like if he was alongside Bosch.
I think
and
you're giving him too much
LeBron
credit.
James.
First
I
of all, he played next to Antoine Walker in his prime. So
shimmy, yeah, shimmy,
forget
yeah.
it. If you couldn't go to the finals with that, what are you going to do?
No.
That's right.
But yeah, Paul Pierce, haha.
All right, so those were our breakfast in bed apologies. Before we get to our steak and eggs best thing, we have a few listener submitted questions from our Patreon supporters. The croissant questionnaire.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Knock yourself out.
That croissant.
At Love Kebab 69 asks, what the F are the Lakers going to do? And what the F should the Lakers do? Mostly interested in your thoughts on the second part. First thing I would do is hold an Occupy the Viper Room protest.
Well, you do know there is a protest.
Yeah,
So
Occupy
Yes.
Sunset
I
Strip.
saw that on Reddit, and it is making me.
it's gaining steam. Lakers
it's-
boys,
no.
Laker Nation.
It's not.
Be
it's,
there.
It's
on
a
Friday, right?
movement. Yeah,
Get
it's-
there, whip off your shades, whip your shades back on.
I want the Round Ball Rock podcast to be there.
I don't know what that is.
Broadcasting live.
Damon,
Damon
Rangula, you got to be there with all your
Producer
Twitter
power
on.
listener.
Love Kebab 69.
Yeah, Love Kebabs, get thee thine to the Occupy Sunset Strip movement now.
Occupy Staples Center.
Do it.
Yeah.
The catacombs will be full.
So let's take Ryan Darlin's question.
What should they do?
What should they do? So here's my completely improvised plan. Get rid of the front office. Palinka's a schlub.
Oh, he's not running it anymore.
Who's calling
Who
these
is
shots?
Kurt Rambis and Kurt Rambis' wife, Linda Rambis.
Is it the actual logo?
Is it West?
The sentient logo?
Of Jerry West.
I don't know. Like when you say what should the Lakers do?
Who is the
Who are we
Lakers?
talking about?
So the ownership. So Jeannie Buss owns the team, right? Am I wrong in saying that she's the owner?
her and a combination of siblings?
And so she can determine who is the GM. I think what they should do is bring in this guy who used to coach for LA. His name is Phil Jackson. He could be a fantastic front office addition to the LA Lakers.
Wow. You're trying to. So you wanting some makeup sex then?
No, that's
mean-
not gonna happen.
Pelinka is everything we joked he could be.
Right.
We're like, why would you hire Kobe's agent,
This is very.
which crushed the team with the contract they
It's
gave
very
Kobe?
simple what the Lakers should do. Stop hiring people with Lakers connections.
Yeah.
There has literally been no one ever, since I have been watching basketball, hired or even admired who isn't a Lakers connection.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyronn Lue, Lakers connection.
But here's
and that
the-
was their best case scenario.
Yeah.
That Tyronn Lue thing is hilarious.
That's insane to me.
For
They
the,
were
for
offering
the
him the
layman to
job.
tell him this. They only offered him 3 years, by the
My
way.
understanding is the entire front office or whatever that brain trust is of Lakers leaders had settled on Tyronn Lue. A lot of that, you knew that was LeBron's guy, and it looked like they were just all right, cool. Tyronn Lue had a birthday party like 3 days ago with the Lakers cake.
Right.
Whoops.
I mean, obviously he played for the Lakers, but like it looked like he was coming back, and then they got hung up in negotiations because apparently Linda Rambis,
They brought in the cooler, Kurt and Linda
Kurt
Rambis.
and Linda Rambis.
Where did they come from?
Where did they come from? But anyway, apparently they
Power brokers.
They didn't
Power
think
couple.
They weren't all in on the Ty Lue thing.
Yeah.
They just started offering him a smaller number of years. They're saying just take a 3-year deal. Ty Lue was like, no thanks. They said, hey, let's make Jason Kidd a failed head coach who also interviewed for this job. We want you to have him on your staff. A guy who has like Littlefinger
Right now,
done a coup before
Right.
on the coaching staff.
right now, the qualifications to become a powerful person within the Lakers organization is step 1,
No Kobe Bryant.
be a white power forward with little to no skill. We have Mitch Kupchak, Kurt Rambis. I think the next great
Walton.
Laker front office guy is going to be Mark the Mad Dog Madsen. I think that's how you become Lakers Illuminati.
No joke. Wasn't Mark Manson like the analytics head for the Lakers for a couple years? And he had like
I was just kidding.
he had a piece of notebook paper that he carried. Like
That's
I think
amazing.
also, Kurt
we should
Rambis.
trade for
Also,
LeBron.
Kurt Rambis is what his career coaching record.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's
Case to be made for worst coach of all time.
So here's what the Lakers should do. The Lakers should forget that they're the Lakers. Forget this pedigree. Forget this long-standing history of championships and banners. Right now, you're the Knicks on the West Coast. You're a bum organization.
100%.
You're a laughing stock, and you got to figure out your house before you can even begin to figure out what's going to go on the court. And that's basically the long and short. They've drank their own Kool-Aid, and they think we're the Lakers. No matter what, we're going to catch all the good breaks.
what they honestly should do. I think, no joke. If I somehow had the power to do it, I would fire Pelinka.
Yeah.
I would probably clean house of most of the people making decisions, but I would bring in, I would offer $9 million a year or something to Sam
Right.
Hinkie.
Yeah.
Just an established GM,
Yeah.
someone who's a forward thinker. Say,
I'll
Sam
be in my
Hinkie,
bunk. I'll get
Sam
my
Hinkie,
lube.
you have LeBron James, for probably 2 years of a winning
Trade him
window.
for a plethora of picks.
But they have a blank slate roster wise almost
Right.
as far as they can do a lot of things. They can take people into salary cap for trades.
And they got Caruso.
They have a lot of stuff. Oh, but boy, Alex Caruso.
build around Alex.
They can keep
Caruso
bringing
and
that
TJ
gray-haired Andre
McConnell.
Brower looking dude in every season, as far as I understand. He's allowed to come play every season if he
So
wants.
He averages 20 points a game, two games a year.
So I think one of the additive issues, there is a functional organizational rot with LA.
Right.
What added fuel to this fire was LeBron being the new empowered athlete who uses his clout and his prestige in the league to push and make decisions or force decisions to happen within the organization. And I think that should be something that they do, is say, hey, LeBron, you're one of the greatest players of all time. We owe you nothing here other than the contract and the minutes we give you. We don't need your information and your input about Anthony Davis or anything like that. What you're doing is messing up what is already a very hard thing to do, which is run an NBA team.
And I don't know what blame goes to Rich Paul. Like,
I mean, that's
the agency.
Maverick.
It's just LeBron
It's a mess.
Inc.
How pissed is LeBron right now?
Is he? That's my question about the Lakers. How much is LeBron actually involved? How much does he care right now?
I think LeBron is polishing off his third bottle of Pinot Noir. Very
Mellow
sad,
style?
very sad in his pool somewhere in Malibu, and he doesn't know how this is going to get better, and he might. If I don't think he'll do it, but he might try. He may be the one floating the trade LeBron rumors.
That rumor is so hilarious.
It is
It's
the
incredible.
funniest thing I've ever heard.
At Feeling Minnesota asks, what would you include on the coroner's report if you were tasked with performing the autopsy on the dead Boston Celtics? I got this one. Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, that's interesting. I actually would.
Kyrie Irving stroked himself off to death.
I don't.
You got what you wanted, Kyrie.
Well, if it was me, I don't want this to be an inflammatory.
Got to use a lemon wedge next time.
Yeah, I don't want it to be inflammatory, but I would probably write "murdered by an immigrant."
Oh.
I don't want to read too much into that, but
I mean, Giannis.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's documented though.
Oh yeah, no, he's here. He's here legally.
He's a legal resident.
He's all right, but
He's a
I just saying
resident
they got
alien.
murdered.
They did. I mean,
Came into the gated community.
right down to Sunken Meadow.
Yeah, I think, but I think if then you cut it open the body and you saw those field goal percentages we were talking about.
Damn.
I mean, also
Damn. I don't know.
the Bucks are super good.
Yeah.
The Bucks are awesome.
I think we are burying the Celtics, but we need the whole year. I've been saying Giannis is the maniac that's going to change.
That
the game.
was your called shot.
And I will remind everybody about how smart I am with that. But he was
I
my
think
MVP.
you compared him to Shaq before everyone else compared him to
Right.
Shaq.
So this is a guy that can do things with the basketball that Shaq used to do. Take a dribble and be immediately in scoring range. But Shaq did it from the block, and he's doing it from the damn free throw.
See, I
point
assumed
line.
you were talking about Miami Heat Shaq.
No,
whole time.
that's the
That's my
greatest
fault.
Shaq. That's Kobe. Tell me how my
South
ass
Beach.
tastes.
Kobe.
That
Damn, Kobe. Tell me how my ass tastes.
We got another croissant.
Trent asks, of all the breakfast spots mentioned in FBBF over the years in and around the greater Nashville metro area, if one was to pinpoint and draw lines between them, would they reveal an Illuminati pyramid or a pentagram? Follow-up question, who would you rather have long-term on the Grizzlies, Sabonis or Turner?
I took a turn. Indy
It did.
Trent. Indy Trent. with the,
Indy.
As much as I like to think of myself as the William Withy Gold to Keith Nedley, and that it would definitely be a satanic pentagram or obelisk-type formation,
What are these
I
words?
think honestly it would just form a nice sunny side up egg, and I'd definitely take Sabonis because A, I'm a white person and therefore racist, and B, that would mean Arvydas Sabonis would come to Grizzlies games, and I might get to see his giant Easter Island head and tell him he's one of my favorite players ever. Maybe get him to autograph my titties.
I've already seen Arvydas Sabonis in person, so I will take them.
is his head,
How beautiful is his mother for him to not be a giant monster?
dude?
Oh, for
That's
DeMontis,
what.
yeah.
DeMontis is actually a good-looking kid.
His
And
his mother must be the most beautiful woman in the world.
Arvydas looks like Ray Liotta if he was like
Super deformed Ray Liotta.
put in a microwave. For a long
Karen,
time.
why did you do that?
I mean, obviously,
All my life I want to be a gangster.
I want Miles Turner because he's a way better basketball player.
No, he is.
Who can space the floor.
Yeah.
I think
Really?
I think Sabonis is. I'm working on this take.
Okay.
I'm working on
okay.
this.
Let's work through this together.
Let's talk about.
I think Domantas Sabonis might be one of the most overrated players in the NBA.
Whoa.
He's a backup big who beats up on
He's
second
a,
units.
He's a 6 man of the year candidate.
right because
Yeah.
he's wildly overrated by the white NBA writers in the world.
She's got a point. he is white.
He's okay at defense. He does not get any steals. He does not get any blocks. He cannot shoot at all. He came into the season saying he was going to shoot 3-pointers. He shot no 3-pointers this season.
So this sounds like the Steven Adams Drummond argument in reverse.
Also, the Pacers needed him to be good, and he hardly ever he didn't finish games for them.
Sure.
So I think he's kind of you can get a high efficiency backup big. I don't think those are in high
But
demand.
Keith, if
not much
Sabonis
interest in him.
was on the Grizzlies, I could see how hot his mother must be in order to procreate
My favorite.
with super deformed Ray Liotta to create that. Frankly, that might be the most good-looking guy with like some chromosomal disorder I've ever seen. He is beautiful. Him and Myers Leonard are beautiful freaks.
To be part Neanderthal and to look like them.
Cro-Magnon beauty.
Anyway,
I mean, I think Miles Turner certainly as a prospect, like right now at this moment, a lot of people would argue Sabonis helps your team more, but really Miles Turner, there's nothing on a basketball court he can't do
except post up.
Yeah, but he can learn that.
Well, I think it's a fine question. It's a meaningless question because there's no way I think the Pacers would trade Miles Turner for Mike Conley. I think the Pacers actually should trade Domantas Sabonis. They're probably not
His
going to
value is high
because they have to choose contract wise. You don't want to pay that guy a bunch of money if
Right.
you already have Miles Turner and you think Miles Turner is better.
Right.
So I think the Pacers should do that. As a Grizzlies fan, I'm not going to be super excited about it because I don't think he does that much. Also, if you specifically look at the Grizzlies team as they are right now,
There's a bulk of those
does he
guys.
play with Jaren Jackson
Yeah.
Jr.?
Back
He
to
can't
the-
play with Valanciunas.
Valanciunas.
Can he play with my boy Kyle Anderson? I don't think so at all.
Back to the first question. I'm kind of in my head
About the pentagram thing.
Pacing out.
doing it, and so Keith just goes to the little bakery by his house.
Well, I got
Chuck
a couple. So we've had Salmon Zoe's, and then there's the East Park Donut.
I'll pull up a map.
Chuck. There's a lot of Murfreesboro, and that's a long extended. You might
phallus.
say shaft-like.
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
That's where I'm
I
getting
did
to.
manage to make it
and
to
then
Franklin,
you kind of
too.
loop around the shaft to the other side of Murfreesboro where you get to Dodge's Chicken. There's two different gas stations. Then you take the shaft back.
Don't forget the
It's a
Brosters.
long, skinny shaft. I think what we have here is good old-fashioned teledong. I think that's the formation coming back to my house, which is on the other side of Nashville. So I think that shaft with the loop, and then you take the 440, which I
ring?
think you get a penis and balls.
If you drew it, you could see.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
you could see. Yeah, you could see a ring.
Anyway,
Testicular torsion.
Those were
a C
our croissant questions. Listener submitted questions from our Patreon supporters. If you want to hear your own question read on air, you have to become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. You also get access to other exclusive bonus content over there, different tiers.
Yep.
Highly recommend that $3 tier.
And
to
we didn't
join the Slack.
We
around the
didn't
clock.
get to the highly anticipated Animal Kingdom segment of the podcast, which we're teasing. This is what we're doing now. We're teasing it.
We need to
We're
like
teasing
do
it.
some research. I've only seen the movie. I'm ready to watch after the full throttle assault of Animal Kingdom and
Advertising.
and what's the other one?
Claws.
Claws. After that one, I'm ready to dive in, guys.
I will say
Marketing
also,
works on me.
Our friend of the podcast, Roundball Rock, has actually started an entire Animal Kingdom segment.
Shut up.
Oh, really?
For real?
It's hard not to. I mean, it's hard not to.
It's
your face.
impossible
It's in your
not
face.
to.
I wake up every morning thinking about Animal
I
Kingdom.
mean, we are like Clockwork Orange held our eyelids open.
Yeah.
Ludovico technique was bombarded with these ads.
Holy moly, we got the same segment. We gotta quit the podcast.
we just got to
now.
do it.
I'm gonna quit.
Do it.
Just like
Still,
that.
what round ball?
Anyway,
That's the song
support
that
us.
John Tesh wrote.
Yeah, that's the catch. That's the hook. If we
That's what I
hadn't
think.
figured out Fast Break Breakfast, we would probably had to come up with something like that.
Probably so.
Anyway, support our Patreon. You can also support their Patreon.
Don't
But
you do that.
our Patreon, patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right, steak and eggs, best thing. What's the best thing you saw this week?
Actual genius. Do you guys know about this?
No.
Kyrie quoted
Oh.
from yeah, he's an actual basketball genius.
Oh.
Actually a genius. And then he went to shoot 8 for 22.
So he called himself a
What were
genius?
his final numbers? He was something like he shot
He
8 for
was like-
22, and then he's like, I'm not doing that
It was-
again. And he went
yeah.
7 for 22.
Yeah. He you won't see another 8 for 22 and then the next night.
Got him.
Yeah. I think his numbers were like anemic would be the best way to describe them. We could rename the playoff eye shop after him.
Really could.
Based off of this
That
series.
series, I don't know how to look up the combine, like the run.
Somebody
It's really hard to steal that kind of glaring spotlight from the James Harden playoff performances, but he's done it. By Jove.
I mean, I
Harden.
do want to say,
Shout
you
out
know,
Harden Red Eye.
Don't worry about it, Kyrie. It was a real bad playoff run, but the world's going to keep spinning.
Yeah. Round and round. Round and round, round, round. Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll
here's
be rich.
What was flatter? No, I won't.
Here's my best thing, and don't take this the wrong way, everybody. I'm sad. Clearly, I'm sad and upset that Kevin Durant is injured.
Yes.
This is bad.
Woj just hit. He's got a calf strain.
Yeah, calf strain can be reevaluated next week. It's bad. It's unambiguously bad when people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Wait a minute.
this was a plot twist we needed.
Right? We needed
This was a plot twist.
some texture, depth to this
This
battle.
was like things were turning.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors were up 20 points in Game 5 on the Rockets. Rockets were on the ropes. All of a sudden, the Rockets start coming back. The Warriors getting a little tense. Rockets cut it to a 2-point game, and then an unbelievable twist, much like Game of Thrones used to do, was stunned. It looked like Kevin Durant tore his Achilles. There was like 20 minutes, the whole world just kind of quit.
And that could have been my worst, because Reggie Miller just said the word Achilles like 500 times.
Reggie Miller tried to make it happen with
He knows
I'm
what's
like,
up.
come on.
But anyway, so this twist, all of a sudden, the championship is now in the balance. It gets tossed back up in the air. And so now, there's these 20 minutes, it looks like the Warriors are going to lose.
Yeah.
This was high drama. I'm sitting there like, this is incredible. Like, I knew, like Boogie Cousins, sure, the writers were going to kill him off.
Right.
Like, he didn't have a chance.
Yeah, he wasn't
He
going
didn't
to
have a
make
chance.
Serge Aurier at best.
He didn't have a chance to keep going. But to take out Durant, I
Yeah.
did not see coming.
That's
And
And I
Durant
was like, this is-
Durant would be like Daenerys, like the overly sensitive dragon rider. Got all the tools.
I will say, I want to say, like, I don't know in the analogy who is Daenerys or who is the dragon, but they're killing off their superstars like dragons. I mean,
Yeah.
Kerr is doing, or is it Steph Curry? Is it Steph Curry riding Klay Thompson? What's my analogy for the one remaining dragon?
I can't believe Steph Curry's post-game remarks where he was like, what did you think about Kevin Durant's injury? He's like, oh, there were a couple smiles.
What? I didn't hear this at all.
This has to get some writer has to get hold of this. He's like, there's a couple smiles. We looked around and we saw opportunity.
Oh wow, I didn't know this. Well, so
Kevin Durant reads middling weirdos' tweets. He reads into them deep enough that he creates sock puppet accounts. He's not going to be able to look past that you're talking about seizing an opportunity and taking, greatness from defeat. He's going to be like, you what? You smiled when I got hurt?
yeah,
He's going to go nuts.
I hope he doesn't hear this.
But I mean, the quote wasn't like
he's not on Filipino CNN.
We smiled because he went to the locker room. It was like there are guys who now have to step up and have a role that they were familiar with in previous iterations of the Warriors.
Honestly, it's a bright light that it should be my best of the week that writers did not twist that into something that would tear that team
Everyone
apart.
wanted to.
No, they didn't.
But again, the twist of that game was, despite the Rockets getting within 2 points when the injury happened and then taking the lead, they lost.
Yeah.
The Rockets still had the opportunity.
Well, when your
to
best player
steal
shoots like
and-
one time in
to
the
steal that
last
game 5.
10 minutes.
I like to play the game about like morale and esprit de corps. When it comes to
Culture.
what would have been worse, losing like they did with Durant out, knowing they had a road victory in their grasp, or being blown out by 20 with Durant on the floor.
The former.
I think this hurts their
That was a
psyche.
painful Rockets loss.
Because it's right there.
But
They tasted it.
That's good drama writing.
Man.
Because you thought the twist, it got lower.
Right.
Like something bad happened for the Warriors fans, that they blew the lead, and then the crushing blow.
I don't know.
This is the red wedding.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty lame. Like, we get to the big battle with the Night King, and then it's just kind of lame. And then
Like a cat being thrown through the air.
Yeah,
Arya Stark appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just kind of lame.
She's
And turns out the good guys win. Turns out the big battle actually is just Bucks dubs all along. What we expected all along.
But so right now it's
Called it.
But right now the drama is still very much alive.
Yeah.
Rockets are 6-point favorites for Game 6.
That's the biggest in the Steve Kerr era underdog ever.
Yeah, that's
Are we
nuts.
counting Luke Walton games too?
Steve Kerr era.
Luke Walton officially never won a game.
And Mike Brown? Didn't Mike Brown
as
get
a
he got some
Warrior.
playoff wins, right?
Future Lakers
Because
head coach Mizike
Kerr was
Brazil.
out with the back and two.
Oh, yeah, I
some
remember
playoff
that.
games, right?
Yeah.
I can't keep track of what the biggest.
They're
teams
all
do,
Steve
'cause
Kerr's.
I don't
He outsourced
watch them.
He outsourced.
But anyway,
victories.
the West is it's. I feel like the game is back on. The game is back on now.
I think whoever wins this Rockets Warriors series, and it's the Warriors, they're going to mop the floor with whatever comes out of Blazers Nuggets.
You don't think the Nuggets can hang on?
No.
Nuggets are gaining speed, momentum, perhaps.
And I'm not trying to belittle their greatness in their ascension. They are going to be in the Western Conference Finals when none of those players have any experience outside of Millsap in the playoffs, and that's like an important thing because the moment overwhelms sometimes.
Millsap.
We saw it happen with LeBron and Curry. It happens to all the greats, and it'll happen to the Dubs, I think, or to the Nuggets if they beat the Blazers. I think the Blazers have a better chance of beating the Warriors, but that's without
They have
Durant.
done well against the Warriors regular season.
Jamal Murray now, when he scores 20 points, the Nuggets are 6-1 in the postseason. They only lost the 4 overtime game, which they had many, many chances to win. So it seems like if Jamal Murray is exploding into his own,
that series should, by all rights, be over.
But I'm weary to give any hope on a young player like that in a big moment against guys he's playing against guys who he grew up rooting for.
If Gary Harris could hit any shot. Just kidding.
What happened to Monte Morris?
He's playing fine. Oh, John, what happened to your boy Monte? Should we hold a funeral? What happened to Monte
Regular
Morris?
season Maven.
Monte Morris just could have died.
It's a lot easier playing against the second string of bad teams, I guess, than the best players in the world at the height.
I mean, he's not even. He's hitting no shot. He shot like 50% or something. Over 50% as a point guard in the regular season.
Maybe he's the opposite of Andre Iguodala.
Now he's shooting like 12%.
Man, it's a playoffs. I don't need to play. We got here.
Well behind numerous centers and assist to turnover.
Yeah.
But I trust Miles Plumlee to shoot a 3 right now over Monte.
But yeah, that's the moment though. Those young guys, they choke up, and it'll happen. I think with the Nuggets.
Staying on that Nuggets tip, the reason I took the Blazers in this series over the Nuggets really had to do with having the best player. My best is that Nikola Jokic has ascended. He's the best player in that series.
Styles make fights. I think he's playing a depleted, defenseless, Blazers.
He's getting guarded by
Front
Enes
court.
Kanter and Al-Farouq Aminu.
I mean,
who they cannot do
they
it.
can't guard him.
They can't do it.
He's eating. He's eating.
I mean, he's putting up historic numbers for reasons other than who's guarding him.
No. I'm not saying that he isn't great. I'm saying that we got to,
I'm just saying we're watching the ascension.
I do think people are getting upset. Like they don't want to say that Jokic is better than Damian Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it.
I think it's more.
I'm pretty sure Jokic is better than Damian Lillard.
I'm saying
I mean, it's completely different skill sets.
You can't. Yeah.
Well, I used to say stuff like guards impact the game more.
Right.
Nikola Jokic is a different type of player than that. He impacts the game just as much as a guard.
He falls into the guard category,
Right.
I think, because he's setting the table for everybody else. Yeah, Jokic right now averaging 23 points, 13 rebounds per game, and 9 assists per game in the postseason.
Insane.
Only, I guess we could do this.
I need a lemon wedge.
Only 5 players have averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists in the playoffs before.
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Somebody important.
Peter
Somebody important.
Peter
Somebody
Dinklage,
important.
Peter
Somebody
Dinklage.
important. All right, game of scones. So right now, Jokic is averaging 23, 13, and 9 in the postseason. Let me make sure those numbers are correct. In NBA playoff history, I'm sorry, he's averaging 24.5 points per game. Obviously,
He did get to
bolstered
play a very
by,
awesome 4
his-
overtime game.
His most playoff minutes in NBA history, 65 minutes, falling 4 minutes
4 minutes
short of Dale Ellis's NBA record, 69
Go Vols.
minutes. Anyway, there are 5 players ever to have played. Only 4 other players, excuse me. No, wait, let me count. 1, 2, 3. Yes. This is a short
Need
game
to
of
get into
scones.
the brevity thing.
Short game of
Little
scones.
Dugarino.
There are 4 players besides Nikola Jokic who have finished a playoff averaging over 20 points, over 10 rebounds, and over 8 assists. And here's the thing. All these guys pretty much cleared the thresholds easily.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
A mile.
all of these players are or will be in the Hall of Fame. Not that hard. This is going to be tough. I'm going to let... I feel like John's been losing more.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to let John go...
LeBron
What do you want? Oh, you want-
James.
Okay, so he takes it. LeBron James is correct. Do you want to guess what year?
I'm going to go... this one, I'm going to get a little wild. I'm going to say 1979.
That was 2015.
No!
2015 on
first,
the Cavs.
First Cavs year.
LeBron,
Probably LeBron at his best.
LeBron
physically.
averaged 30, 11, and 8.5 assists. All right,
That's
Chuck,
disgusting.
you're up.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
No. Never.
Larry
Strike for
Jeffrey
Chuck.
Bird.
No. Strike for John.
Magic Irvin Jeffrey.
No.
Johnson.
2 strikes for Chuck.
Well, now I'm in a panic. Got me in a panic. Charles Barkley.
No.
Not enough assists.
Chuck, are you going to keep it alive? We have 2, one current player, 2 very much retired for many, many years players.
Kevin Durant.
No.
Not
Chuck
enough.
has struck out.
I'm right behind him.
I don't think Durant's ever come close to the
He does.
assist.
Him no pass him. With the boards, the boards give me pause because that takes out your Stephs.
Don't do this. Just guess.
Okay, I'll go. I'll go Harden.
Harden is incorrect. John wins with the one correct answer
Dwayne Wade?
of LeBron James. No. Russell Westbrook.
We are idiots.
I thought was going to be very easy.
Yeah.
God,
With
I'm an
his,
idiot. I'm an idiot.
Let's take a lap, Chuck. We'll be right back. Chuck and I are going to take a lap around the neighborhood.
Bust a lap.
Russell Westbrook, who averaged 37 points, 11.6 rebounds, and 10.8 assists in 2017.
You know what I
Filling
blame?
with blood.
You know what I blame for
2 years
this?
ago.
I blame.
Although it was only 5 games. He lost in 5 games.
I blame.
Is it Rajon Rondo?
I blame Twitter for me not remembering
and
that.
then in
I forgot Russell
1960,
Westbrook
in
exists.
1967, Wilt
still-
Chamberlain
Yeah.
with 29 rebounds per game. And then
Did rebounds exist as a stat back then?
And then the father of the triple-double, Oscar Robertson, did it 2 years. The player with the highest true shooting percentage of all these postseasons?
Jokic.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Modern NBA.
I mean, technically, true shooting is sort of broken when you compare errors. But yes, John, Jokic, the victory lap is warranted.
Victory lap and then sadness lap for me and Chuck
What
Scone's
will
performance.
Jokic have to do in the following 2 games against the
I feel like
Blazers
Madeline
to-
Kahn and
to-
Clue
to
were the
undo
flames of shame behind my face.
What an incredible reference for the 45-year-olds in our audience.
That's right.
Madeline Kahn.
Clue.
Anyway, what's the
Multiple endings.
What does Jokic have?
Greatest cast ever?
What does Jokic have to do to maybe undo the goodwill if the Blazers, if they collapse in Game 6 and 7, Blazers win?
As Martin Mull, as Colonel Mustard would say. I mean, I just feel like this is sort of just validation, and
That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
validation, but is there anything if the Blazers come from behind?
He's gonna have a moment,
Is he going to have?
he's
James
gonna-
Harden doesn't shoot in the last 8 minutes of the game.
and Chuck and Shaq are gonna talk on Inside the NBA in their reflexive, instantaneous responses with no depth or vision of the whole picture. He's gonna probably have a couple games where he's not this great. And then what are we going to say? We're going to say he's a bum? No, he's
what if he pulls what he did against the Grizzlies and doesn't
shoot.
Where he doesn't shoot until there's 8 seconds left in the
The
game.
Blazers really will need that because the Blazers have been gifted 2 wins already.
That's how I feel. I feel
So
like
the
the Blazers
Blazers
are barely hanging on.
They will really. It's not as close as it looks.
I don't think it's going to happen.
But I do think the
against-
Blazers are a very resilient team.
Will they be resilient? Everybody else has been unresilient in the last couple days.
Right. I don't think that's the Blazer style.
Is that a word?
They're not rolling over. They're just getting severely outplayed. But the Blazers, they don't roll over. I mean, I love this Blazers team. It's just they have run into like a matchup that's just not for them. The only reason they have wins is like incredibly poor shooting performances by the Nuggets.
And I think the way the series are going to play out, the Rockets and the Warriors are game planning Jokic right now. They're going to have a whole thing set up for him. It's not going to be.
It's going to be sad for us, like hardcore Nuggets bandwagon people, if they beat the Blazers and then have to face the Rockets or Warriors.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot less joyful. It's going to be kind of ugly, I think.
I don't think the Rockets are the type of team to make it ugly for an entire series against anyone.
Yeah, I don't know.
They might have games where they beat you by 20, but then you're going to turn around and sock them in the face too.
If only the Rockets could trade like Chris Paul for Mike Conley. Chris Paul,
What?
what you doing?
he's being Chris Paul. It's playoff Chris Paul.
Chris Paul is just as important as he. Like, I do agree that it's going to be hard for the Rockets to win with James Harden not taking shots, but the reason they're in that game is Chris Paul. I mean, I've trading Chris Paul for Mike Conley doesn't seem like an answer to me.
No, I think there is something to say about Harden's disappearance in the last 8.5 of the Warriors game.
That was so weird.
Where he didn't take a single shot.
Games 3 and 4, he took one shot.
Well, he took one shot. But he was giving, from what I watched, he was getting double teamed and he was making the right play and the right pass.
Well, they're double teaming him off of that screen, and then they also have totally figured out the lob to Capella.
Yeah.
So they have taken away they have game planned and attacked a huge chunk of Harden's style, and they have not counterpunched.
No, it's just double him. He's the hot man, so you can't. You have to make sure the ball's out of his hands, and they
were letting Kevon Looney guard him off the switch, which has led to somebody needs to make a compilation of Looney on Harden because it is free buckets and it's free funny buckets.
Yeah.
Let's do the opposite of our steak and eggs. The worst of week, the cream of wheat worst of week. What's the worst thing you saw?
We keep talking about it, but you can't stop talking about the disappearing acts in these playoffs. Like, just not showing up at all. It's not even. There's a huge difference between going cold shooting and then not shooting at all. And that's like a choice, and it's a strange choice.
I like how you just went the pro Harden argument, and without pause, now you're on the anti Harden.
No, I don't understand.
I mean, I'm fine. I don't think it's. I like talking about, but you were just saying how we were pointing out that Harden didn't shoot.
Right.
You gave us all the reasons why not.
No, the Dubs game planned him out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to counterpunch.
Well, I think,
you got to do. Yeah,
I think towards the end of games, he gets gas. He has.
Now Chuck has a fat argument.
I think
as a fat person, I love this.
I think
I like Dame Lillard looks gassed.
I think he wanes at the end.
Dame Lillard has a very good reason to be gassed. They've played so many minutes.
He's carrying them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Harden has
Harden's
too.
Carrying
he's
him
carrying him
as
too.
well. Yeah.
But he could probably afford to lose 5 pounds.
I love it. More body talk with Chuck and John.
What about like
what other players look fat to you? Because I could talk about.
He's just got too much muscle. He's got too much muscle. He's a heavier load. LeBron had that problem
and
when
Chuck. He has a beard, which more than anyone makes you look thinner than you actually are. So how fat is this James Harden character?
I'm not sure he has a chin.
What about the Sixers? Who have had their trouble in Game 5, like a non-show?
That's where I'm leading towards. The disappearing act in the Eastern Conference is just as egregious, and it involves some of my favorite players, whether they're sick or not. I don't think anyone has stepped up for the horribly ill dying Joel Embiid at all.
Excuse making.
If you want to take
He's
that,
so sick.
If you want to take
wash
that,
your hands more.
I mean, quit drinking Shirley Temples.
Or
all day.
eat better.
I mean, I don't care about that argument. Like, either way, it looks so poorly on the Sixers to completely wash their hands of any effort, of any, someone has to make, you have to have someone taking the shot and making the gargantuan leap, the attempt, and I didn't see anything.
It's Ben Simmons.
I mean, Ben Simmons has been, so this takes me to my worst thing. My worst thing was going to be actually the way it seems like a lot of Sixers people are turning on Ben Simmons.
This is mind-boggling.
Like, guys, he's super young.
Mm-hmm.
He's still super good. Like, he's had a rough playoff series. He's still an incredible defender.
Yeah.
He can guard all 5 spots.
Do you know what he shot from mid-range in the playoffs?
Is it 0?
100%.
Oh, he has one shot.
I mean, it gets to the whole, but I guess I don't understand your argument now.
My argument is, I think it's sad that people are turning on Ben Simmons and talking about trading him.
Oh, no.
I think that's ridiculous.
But that's happened turning on him. The Ben Simmons talk has been all season, though.
Yeah. Well,
people were not in mass being like, we need to trade Ben Simmons.
Last night,
they still thought they were going to win in the playoffs.
Twitter exploded last night when
I feel like Ben Simmons has been under assault all year.
Nate
you can say his name.
Buffalo Nate.
Silver
Oh, Nate Silver.
Nate
sorry.
Silver,
Yeah, Nate Silver was
538.
saying,
He said that the Knicks should, if they get one of the top picks, they should trade it for Ben Simmons.
that was weird. Yeah, it's like, Sixers, since they're going to win now, they should
Yeah.
trade for a draft pick.
And if I
what?
was the Knicks, I would be calling them every day.
If I'm the Grizzlies, come on now.
Get me.
The Grizzlies
Get
get that
me.
2, 3, or 4 pick. We'll take Ben Simmons.
I'm on. I think Ben Simmons is going to evolve into one of the better players in the NBA. He's got to figure out a couple things in his game, but this reactionary Philly stuff, man, it really it broke Markelle Fultz, and they might do the same thing to this Ben Simmons kid, and it's sad.
So I can't figure out so what is the argument about Joel's sickness? Don't drink Shirley Temples?
He had a different excuse for every game.
I think there's been a lot of articles written on his lack of taking conditioning seriously.
Okay.
Years ago when he was out
Right.
and he was leaving the team and he
was
drank all the
fat.
Shirley Temples.
Right.
And people saying like this guy has gained a ton of weight since 3 years ago, which you
Sure.
see him like right after he got drafted. So I think people are inferring, and this is some ableism.
Right.
This is some like, oh, you shouldn't be sick, you should live better. My insurance shouldn't pay for you sick people. No, but there's something.
I'm just like that stuff is so weird to me that I can't wrap my head around.
I like to give the credit to our boy Mark.
Yeah,
Gasol,
I think that's
who
the
is
big-
now 9 games out of 10 just pulled his pants down. 9 games out of 10 career pulled his pants down, guys.
Spanked him.
Don't mean to be lewd.
It was I
like
mean,
it.
and that
Very
move
aroused.
of getting Mark
John, I'm
looks
sorry.
great.
I'm gonna, wait,
Give it to me.
I got something for you, John.
Give it to me.
Mark Gasol is also. Don't do that,
John,
Oh,
put it
sorry,
away.
sorry.
Mark Gasol in the postseason is also 10th in offensive rating, 8th in true shooting, 4th in assist to turnover, 6th in assist percentage.
Don't stop.
And of course, Joel Embiid is getting destroyed. So that was John's private time. I'm sorry you were all here for it.
Do you need,
You're like Tony Soprano in a bathroom stall.
do you need some
Bada bing.
Need some
What
wet wipes?
Is the
moist
who's got a worse
towelettes.
thing? Chuck, did you do a worst?
Yeah, it was the Lakers, but then we talked about them for far too long.
Let's talk about Jason Kidd. This is all Jason Kidd's play.
Littlefinger kid.
They're starting leaking the Mike Woodson, Lionel Hollins.
Lionel Hollins.
Although Frank Vogel's getting an interview,
Mike Woodson, Dwayne Wooderson. All right.
I do
all
want
right, all
Frank
right.
Vogel to get an interview with the Grizzlies.
What? Yeah. Come on.
I mean, just
Why do
hire
they-
a competent
why don't
guy.
they have
He's
a
been
guy yet?
competent.
Give me the Vogler.
I do Vogel.
I take Vogel. I'm fine with
I
him.
Vogue.
love me old
You guys can't see this,
Jersey guy.
but I'm voguing.
He's voguing. His head is a
hands.
box. With
Strike
the
a
hands.
pose.
With the hands.
Lionel Hollins interviews are awesome.
But like, so
Awesome.
what will happen is they're going to end up either going back to a guy that they said they didn't want to have, or they're going to get their like 5th choice.
How
And
many?
who wants
How many
to
years?
coach that team?
How many years will they offer Frank Vogel to get him to get pissed off and walk away? Like 1.5.
And at what point, you
Lionel
know,
Hollins, they're like, hey, we'll give you half a season.
Yeah.
how many coaches does LeBron have left that he'll play for?
Stan Van.
Honestly,
I don't know.
because it's Lou, it's Mike Brown, guys that I know he hasn't actively torpedoed,
Hey.
even though
Jeff Van.
I mean he wouldn't. No,
Brad
it would-
Stevens. Is Brad
He's going to
Stevens
bring in his
available?
son,
Brad
Bronny, to coach the
What
team.
was the Dwayne
Wade.
should trade Brad Stevens.
Dwayne Wade.
the
should-
Lakers.
Guys, Ron Artest.
Ron Artest said it.
Artest.
Why isn't Kobe the coach?
He knows the
He will
spacing.
be, Chuck.
Triangle and C.
He will be.
in the Lakers Game of Thrones, yeah, Kobe's probably gonna be the one.
He's
going to
finish on the Iron Throne.
LeBron needs one thing to become the greatest of all time, and that's the Mamba mentality.
Oh, I thought it was elephants.
Kobe is gonna take his Oscar, take his NBA championship, and he's gonna try to add an NBA Coach of the Year to that.
Yeah,
He's gonna get his
Yeah.
EGOT plus the Coach of the Year.
yeah,
EGOT Cody.
and then he's gonna go to the front office, Executive of the Year, and then
No, that's not a real award. No one cares about that.
and then it's Times Man of the Year.
Yep. Let's move to the awards segment of the program. The International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, given each week to the worst performance in a box score. Had quite the competition this week. A few honorable mentions. Eric Bledsoe, 4 for 15. CJ McCollum ended his hot streak, 5 for 16. Steph Curry and Tobias Harris, 7 for 23. Not going to get it done. 3 nominees as they occurred chronologically through the week. Future Grizzly Chris Middleton was 4 for 19.
They still won by 20.
13 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, 2 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. Chris Paul, when they needed literally just anything.
Just a bucket.
Just make a bucket.
Single one.
Make a bucket. You win game 5. You get to go home and play the Warriors without Kevin Durant.
Let's not count on
Chris Middleton,
Shump.
3 for 14.
Did you say Paul's numbers?
Chris Paul, 3 for 14, 11 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 5
How many shots did he
personal
take?
fouls. 3 for 14.
14.
That's so brutal.
3 for 14. Chris Paul, I believe the game before, he was also very bad as well, but that's not in this box score. Don't let that persuade you.
Can't.
Also, Kyrie Irving finished his series, his unbelievable series against the Bucks, by going 6 for 21, 15 points, 1 board, 1 assist.
They have 5 fouls, though.
Roger Goodell
No,
blanking
2 personal
gif.
fouls.
2? Oh, game
2
5,
personal
yeah, 5
fouls, 3 turnovers, and a steal. So that's it. Incredible. I don't know how to compute the iShop scores,
Jesus.
but to have 21 attempts, 15 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist
I
is
think
awesome.
it should be the Kyrie Irving
Slam Jam Can Ram.
Memorial
Yeah,
iShop
that
Award.
is Kyrie Irving. Congratulations. You
Hey.
are this week's International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award winner.
Don't feel bad. You still got Uncle Drew royalty
I'm
checks.
trying to figure out if he is more filled with shame or if we're still reeling from our Game of Scones performance worse than that.
I mean, there were 5 players, and
Oh,
Russell
so
Westbrook,
bad. Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt, Oscar
Will. I
Robertson.
thought it was gonna be a quick.
I just don't
Wilt,
know.
Oscar Westbrook.
Usually Wilt doesn't come up because the counting stats, one of them wasn't in a year that he did it.
I'm just telling you, the only analogy I can think of is Madeline Kahn and Clue.
Par fadeaway. What things are we looking forward to?
I'm going to go watch Clue.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's watch Clue.
Let's watch Clue.
If there's one thing, guys, out there that you should do as an NBA fan, it's watch Clue.
Yes. I'm gonna wear my Josh Richardson shirt that I got from HDTs.
Oh,
shout out.
I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, it's just for
Chuck's
me.
wearing a very nice. It's a very nice
Very
shirt.
nice. I got 2 of them because I tend to ruin all of my basketball shirts, and I also got a brown one because it makes for my lifestyle.
Don't get white shirts, guys.
Man, white shirts are for suckers, for schnooks. It's like linguine and tomatoes.
I can't wear my Miami Heat stuff because there's a small stain that only I can see, but I know it's there.
John has this thing where if he gets something on his pants, he can't think.
Yeah,
It's great.
that makes
It's
sense.
one of my favorite things about him, especially working with them at a bar.
You torture me. My part fadeaway? How about this? Next week, lottery party.
lottery party. Beep, 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 beep.
We're buying lottery tickets for everybody. No,
Oh, we should do that.
we should just hand out a lottery ticket, $1 each.
If we should have worked out something.
I'll go to
better.
the Sitco.
But here's the thing: is John, you're saying
Yeah.
at the mainstay.
The future of your franchise decided one night only. First drink on Fast Break Breakfast.
I mean,
At the mainstay.
if you're anywhere close to Nashville,
Just come chill.
Anywhere
come get a
tall.
free beer.
Come kick it.
We're gonna give away some prizes.
Yo, we got so much.
Got some wrestling belts to give away.
We have what?
There's a
Oh my! We
There's-
might not have. What are you holding in your hand?
This is
that's a Tony Allen Jedi.
Actually,
robe.
I have that one already.
This is mine now.
Yeah, Chuck, give that away. Put that in the
coming-
prize box, Chuck.
coming
Chuck,
with
put
me
it in the
home.
prize
Why
box.
don't I own this? What is it? Is it a hoodie? Is
It's
it a
a,
shirt?
it's a,
It's a robe. It's a Jedi robe.
I think there's one over
Tony
there.
Allen Jedi robe.
Tony
need
Allen
it.
Jedi robe.
I need it in
Anyway,
my
we're
life.
giving away the prizes. We're giving away a free beer. It's just from 7 to 8.
Yeah, bring it.
7 8. Honestly, if the Grizzlies win Zion Williamson, we should give lottery tickets to everyone.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. We should. Yeah.
Because I mean, worst case scenario,
I'll go to the Sitco.
we just keep
Good luck getting my own phallus out of my mouth if that happens. Good
just
grief.
Chuck.
I'm not even mentally prepared for that.
No.
You better
That's
be
not-
because I need it filmed.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, we should try to film it.
No, we're gonna film. I
We'll
mean,
Periscope it and all that.
6% chance at Zion Williamson.
there's
That's
a
not
chance.
nothing.
It's not zero.
I mean, the Tankathon sim of the day yesterday was all Grizzlies.
What?
That's all we need. One time. One time.
One.
Keith,
one time.
You got to tweet that out so I can just click it over and over again.
It's good, man. So yeah, this is.
Like Chuck on
But also,
Pornhub.
the Grizzlies can't lose the lottery this year. There's no sliding down.
Can't,
it's
isn't
just,
there
hey.
a conveyance that could happen?
Yeah, if you slide down, it's a convey.
good.
So there's a 45% chance you convey it, which is good.
Yeah.
30% chance you stay. Not great. Staying at 8, not great, but also not bad.
It's not conveying.
It's not bad. You get a top 8 pick. 25% chance of jumping into that top 4. That's the good stuff. It's going to be so awesome. So come to the mainstay. And this also kind of, I guess, my part fadeaway, like the Kyrie Irving falling apart, like that has started me going into overdrive,
Your
thinking
off-season
about
world?
the offseason, the player movement that's going to happen, the weird trades.
Or as Keith calls it, the on-season.
The on-season. Like the Celtics right now, they have 3 first-round picks that are kind of mediocre. They might get the Grizzlies for a 4th first-round pick. What do they need with 4 mediocre first-round picks? Something big is going to happen. I feel like
Anthony Davis.
And then you got Kyrie Irving. Maybe he's going to the Nets. I don't know. Does that mean D'Angelo Russell goes somewhere else? All the pieces, all the dominoes are going to fall.
And then Summer League, because I'm going to Summer League this year.
Oh yeah, I booked my flights today.
Yeah, we're gonna
to Vegas.
I'm
Although the Grizz are going to Utah, do I have to go there? I don't want to go there.
No, Utah's terrible. Yeah, I'm driving to Vegas from Denver. We're gonna camp in Moab and then go down to the Grand Canyon. We're gonna be in Vegas and we're gonna have a fast break-a-palooza or fast breakaroo.
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. We're gonna have a meetup. So if you want, buy your tickets now and come hang out with us at Summer League. I will be a degenerate.
I'll need to talk to my Gamblers Anonymous sponsor, see if I'm even allowed. But
You're not.
We'll find it.
You're
Oh,
not.
thank you.
No.
Chuck is my sponsor.
You're in that black book with Al Capone and Joe Pesci.
Anyway, all right. So
Talking behind my back, people I know.
a lot of good stuff to look forward to. Yeah, and also
Put you in a
if you
hole.
want to come to Summer League, Chuck's gonna be there for a couple days.
we're gonna have
I'm gonna
a-
be there for like a week.
I'm gonna be there
So,
from
it's
the
gonna be good
from the 8th to the 10th.
You made me pop your eyeball out of your skull for Billy. For Billy Black.
You can follow us on Twitter at Fast Break Break, like us on Facebook and on Instagram. Come to that watch party at the Mainstay on this coming Tuesday at 7 p.m. Support us. Patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Chuck, you made me put your head in a vice for Billy Black.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fair break, man. You understand?